My name is Rene Enriquez. My CDC number is 869-471. I have been involved in organized crime for 20 years, and I've been a Mexican Mafia member for over 17 years. The structure of the Mexican Mafia is comprised of three components. The members. There are about 100 members in the United States, including the federal prisons, Arizona state prisons, California state prisons, and members in society. It's a small group, but it's very powerful. The members believe in a contractionary philosophy. Fewer members, bigger pieces of the pie. That's why there's so few numbers. There are also the camaradas, who are next in the descending rung of power and importance in the organization. The camaradas are the soldiers, the backbone. These are the doers in the organization. They comprise the crews, the mesas, which are controlling boards on the main lines, which control prison main lines. They pretty much effectuate most of Mexican Mafia activity in society and in prisons. And then there are the sureños. What the EME considers sureños are anybody from Southern California who is Hispanic or part of a street gang or illicit type activities. It can also encompass individuals that come into prison from Southern California. They're considered sureños as well. But those are the three components of the organization. Each individual has a specific crew. He has an individual that visits him, and he communicates with that individual, his wife, his girlfriend, his friend, and they have a specific established code. Say, for instance, I understand that Pelican Bay listens to my visiting tapes, and say, for example, you're my visitor. Understanding that an individual is monitoring and taping my conversations through past indictments, we understand every monitoring and surveillance technique utilized by Pelican Bay. We understand completely what Pelican Bay is capable of, and it's not very much. Say, for example, that you were my visitor, and I needed to talk about a crew member paying a specific amount of money. I'd say, how's everything at home? You would tell me, everything's fine. Joe came by last month and he helped me in the garden. He planted 4 rose bushes, and he says he'll come back every month to help me maintain the yard. To the individual monitoring this tape, it sounds like Joe came by and helped my wife do gardening in the front yard and planted some rose bushes. To me, I understand this to be that Joe came by and paid me $400 last month, and he says he's going to be by every month to pay $400 and to help around with the crew. So it becomes esoteric to the individual layman who's listening to this tape. But for the insider, I understand completely what's happening. And the codes are crew specific, so it becomes rather difficult to decipher these cryptid messages. So it's pretty easy to circumvent the security procedures in terms of visiting. Not only do they use this carnival talk that we like to call it, and this innocuous form of conversation to circumvent the things, the security measures, but we also use sign language. We all studied American Sign Language in the Mexican Mafia. Most of the individuals understand some form of sign language. We have money, drugs, dead, hit. There are a multitude, black. There are just a multitude of signs that we've learned and utilized in the visiting room in order to circumvent the audio recording. They also utilize notes, which they secrete in their body cavities and take out to the visit and hold up against the window for the visitor to read. And this is frequently done. Circumventing the security measures in the visiting room are easy. It's done with regularity, and it's almost impossible to stop. And every weekend, from that visiting room, there are assaults occurring. There are crew instructions going out. There are RICO activities going on. Money laundering. I mean, any crime that you can imagine is occurring in that visiting room on a regular basis. I personally utilized the trust accounts to launder money. I would receive Mexican Mafia payments from multiple sources. And this was only a small fraction of the overall payments that I received. I I know multiple individuals in California state prisons, federal prisons, that utilize these trust accounts to launder money. They receive money from a variety of sources, and once it's on their books, they fill out a form called a trust withdrawal application, and they're entitled to release money to any individual they wish. We do this on a frequent basis. I was allowed to utilize the trust account system to buy U.S. savings bond, double E savings bonds, thousands of dollars worth of bonds. I was allowed to establish a bank account and earn interest on the account in the Bank of America in Crescent City from Pelican Bay. All of these savings and these bonds were placed in the Pelican Bay State Prison vault. But this is a regular occurrence. I mean, this is a system where we can receive illegal money and release legitimate checks, cleansed money, tens of thousands of dollars moving in and off the books on a regular basis. I think an investigation will reveal that some individuals have upwards of $25,000 in their accounts. These are individuals in SHU who haven't had a job in 20 years who receive this type of money on a regular basis. In small payments, small increments of $100, $150, $200, $500, but it's cumulative. Every cent of that money is criminal money. There's no mistaking it. It doesn't take a rocket scientist, and I don't mean this in a derogatory fashion, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that the Mexican Mafia are receiving increments of $150, $200, $350 on a regular basis, is amassing money from illicit sources. Nobody in society can afford to pay individuals this money for their canteen, nor does an individual in prison need $20,000 on his books for bubble gum and candy bars. It's painfully obvious that individuals are conducting criminal enterprises from their cells, and the Mexican Mafia understands that nothing can be done about it, so they continue their activities. There's also trips OTC, we call it OTC, up to court. This is where an individual in a specific county subpoenas multiple Mexican Mafia members or singular Mexican Mafia members down to court. When the CDC receives a subpoena, it has to release this individual to the county that's requesting him as a witness, material witness, and they're always bogus. They're always bogus. There's no premise to bring these individuals down. It's solely a Mexican Mafia member sending communications to a county, to a specific individual there, requesting that he pull him down for trial. This is done with frequency. We once attended a meeting, 15 Mexican Mafia members in 1997, where we were called down for a federal RICO trial, and we conducted 2 or 3 Mexican Mafia meetings with all these individuals, validated, bona fide Mexican Mafia members, and the CDC paid for the trip. The Mexican Mafia is a true organization in the purest sense of the phrase. It rivals with some of the more traditional organized crime groups, La Cosa Nostra. Although we haven't replicated their financial success, we far exceed their influence. The Mexican Mafia has a stranglehold in Southern California. It's expanded to Arizona. It has members in New York. It has members in Florida. It has members in Hawaii. It has a member in Connecticut. The Mexican Mafia is extending and expanding rapidly. The progression you see now of the Mexican Mafia is nothing compared to its unrealized potential in 10 years. It will reach that if the CDC and law enforcement agencies allow it to proliferate and continue as it is today. It is not a prison gang. It's obvious that there are prisoners who are Mexican Mafia members, and there are gang members who are Mexican Mafia members, but there are actually very intelligent leaders in the upper echelon. I was a member of the upper echelon, of the elite individuals that had strong business acumen, that set policy for the organization. And I know the objectives of the people who are at the leadership, or at the helm. And they intend to create a huge organization with very few members, but with huge potential. True organized crime, in the purest sense of the word. It's organized crime. This is not a prison gang. This is not a bunch of individuals sitting around wearing headbands and khakis, a bunch of cholos acting tough. These are gangsters. These are contemporary, modern-day gangsters.